Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we explore the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Milan Kohut, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the strategies fueling future growth. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Alice Rose, a coach, writer, speaker, creator, podcaster, and advocate who works with ambitious women seeking breakthroughs in life and business, as well as brands in reproductive health and wellness. She offers powerful one-on-one coaching and mentoring to help clients break free from limiting stories and thought patterns, alongside courses like Ignite, a 3-part Kickstarter for both decision-making, and also consulting for content, workshops, and speaking. Her approach creates warm, transformative spaces, drawing from her own journey as an IVF mom, with clients praising her as a calm, energizing guide who sparks clarity and momentum. With that being said, Alice, let me officially welcome you to Founders Future.
Thank you so much. It's very weird, isn't it, hearing your kind of bio
Yep.
read out while
Yep.
you listen to it.
There's a lot of people listening to me like, did I actually do that? Like, all of it? Yeah, no, listen, I'm very much looking forward to the conversation. So we're gonna jump right into it. And what I love to do with all of my guests is a little bit of traveling back in time. So before you even had this company, what were you doing before? And then eventually, what was the motivation for starting the project?
So I actually started off my career, I wanted to be an actress. So I went to drama school, I trained, and I was doing that. But then I started to work alongside my dad, who had a production company. And he'd worked in radio for years and years. I also had this sort of creative background. And so together we actually started making programs for the BBC, and I was pitching, and I was the creative director of this small production company, but we did do some really great programs. And as I was going through that, I ended up going through a fertility journey and went on a pretty profound self-development path as I went through these rounds of treatment, and discovered that it was actually possible to feel okay, even though I didn't know what the outcome of this experience would be. And this kind of essentially led me to wanting to support other people. And that's really where my whole business journey began, without meaning to, without planning to, with absolutely no knowledge of how to run a business or anything to do with business. I fell into it, as I think so many of my clients actually end up doing, having a profound lived experience and wanting to help others. And that was where mine, yeah, it really
Yeah.
came from.
Basically going through the trenches yourself, just seeking some answers, and here we go. My new business. So,
That's it.
yeah,
That's it. Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
But I mean, listen, this definitely allows you to truly, it's like a deeper level of understanding that you have with your clients just by going through the same situation, right? So it just makes you a better coach, 100%. Now, Alice, what I want to do now in this part of the podcast, my goal is to really get the audience and the listeners close to understanding, first of all, who it is exactly that you're trying to help right now, but also what are the core offerings that you have in place for your clients? So tell us all about it.
So I have two branches of my work, and one of them is my business supporting members who are also going through a fertility journey. And I have a brand called Fertility Life Raft. So that's one branch of my business. And the other is mentoring and coaching women, ambitious women, who want to start their own business, or who want to grow what they're doing, or who are looking to really break free, as you mentioned in my intro there, of the conditioning, the patterns, the thought beliefs that have been holding them back. And I just love to see what happens when we dig into that psyche and kind of explore the narratives that are at play, that are informing their choices, which actually with coaching and mentoring they see don't have to continue to do so, and that we together find out like what they're here for, and like why they're doing one thing when actually they really want to be doing another. So two really sort of arms of the work that I do, which is a
Beautiful.
lot. And we'll come on to the struggles after.
Yeah, no. I'm seeing that you're balancing something here, but now that we have a better understanding of how it is structured for you in terms of these arms of the business, because these really are like two separate target audiences for you. When it comes to the client journey, why don't we paint a better picture for the audience in terms of what is that specific offer that you have on in place for both of those arms and what the client really goes through? What is the frequency of working with you, the stages? Tell us everything.
Yeah. So on the fertility side, with Fertility Life Raft, I initially created a 6-week course called Reclaim, which was about reclaiming their story and coaching them through that transformation while they were in the middle of trying to bring home a baby, whatever that story looked like. I then created the Fertility Life Raft membership. So that's my kind of core offer on that side of the business now. We've just agreed our first clinic partnership. So everyone who goes to Alma Fertility Clinic in Battersea in London receives free access to my membership as part of their wraparound care, and that's a really exciting step for me in my business, and to see that that coaching really taken seriously by the founders of that clinic. And the impact that will have. So that's the sort of fertility part. They'll often find me when they have been going through that experience and finding it's taking over their lives, consuming it, and really needing not just the information on how to improve their fertility, but actually how to navigate life while they go through it, because it's such an unknown experience, and so it's actually really crucial that we have that support in place. um, and then with my other offering is my core offer, which is Happen, which is my mastermind. So I coach between 10 to 12 women at a time through, I call them seasons. So we start in different seasons of the year, or through their own season of whatever is going on for them. And that is a 3 or 6 month commitment from them to work deeply with me and in the cohort. And we really see some huge changes for the clients that come into that program. So yeah, so Fertility Life Raft and Reclaim on the fertility side, and then Happen for the other arm of the business.
This is pretty impressive. There's a lot of stuff happening at the same time. So I'm curious, like if you really look at it through the lenses of a business owner, where would you say the passion lies, and which arm of the business are you actually going to focus on more in the future? What is the
Mm.
strategy?
This is a really great question for me. So, where the passion lies is in transformation, is in inner transformation, and really making sure that that message is getting out there, that it's possible to change your perspective, whatever is happening in your life, and that you can do so compassionately. So, I came into this seeing, that there was messaging out there to show how you can change your life and manifest your vision board and do all of this stuff, but I didn't see enough that was through the female lens. I didn't see enough that was compassionate, that was really acknowledging what women are holding, and the mental load and the invisible load that women are often taking on. So that's where my passion really lies, is in that transformation. And where I'm going to focus on the business, there's two things really. And firstly, I really want to see Fertility Life Raft membership offered as a benefit in corporates. I want to see it offered in clinics worldwide. It's really ready to go. It's been built over the last 5 years by me personally, with guest experts coming in who are from different disciplines. But essentially, it's really pretty much the only mindset focused fertility space that there is globally. And it's we've got so much
Hmm.
data to show its impact. So that is the passion, is that transformation. Um, and that's the plan for quarter 1 of next year, is a lot of outreach.
Beautiful. Now, when it comes to really keeping the impact growing on both sides of the business. What I'm also curious about, sooner or later, every single business owner who is in a similar position like you has got to think about the scalability of the project, right? Now, there's several different alternatives that you can choose, especially on the side of you being a business mentor and a business coach. So whether that means hiring other coaches working with your methodologies, whether that means creating some on a group basis, what is that idea of scalability for you specifically?
Mm, mm. So one of my ideas, and that I've wanted to do for a long time, is to create my own accreditations, my own coaching accreditation, so that I have life raft coaches who are out there using my framework that is trademarked, to coach inside the membership, or in their own practices, but using my methodology. That's something that I would love to see happen in 2026. And it might be that it needs investment so that I can keep everything else running at the same time, so I can get that out there. Um, but that is something that I'd love to focus on. Yeah.
I love it. Now, one of the things that I also wanted to discuss on this podcast is basically the back end side of the business. Because we all know having a good client acquisition system, this is one of the key components of really making it succeed. Now, what is it that you currently do on the front of marketing and maybe specifically generating contacts and leads for yourself to make all of this happen in the first place?
Yeah, so I, as I said, fell into this, and in a way, I'm grateful for well, in lots of ways, I'm really grateful for the way that this all happened because I really had to learn how to generate my own audience, how to generate leads, how to explain my positioning, my messaging, all of that right from the start because I just started an Instagram account, built my community by myself, used my experience in creative production to make good content and make content that people hadn't seen before. This was I'm like a dinosaur in Instagram terms. So this was like pre-reels, pre-TikTok, everything, and I would make my own little videos using I'd like piecing together different software that was available at the time. So it was it was fresh, it was quite new at the time, and that helped me build my community. And I also used campaigns like awareness campaigns to raise my profile. I used my podcast. I would invite people with pretty big accounts to come on my podcast, and in that way I built my profile and my visibility. um, Things have changed now because firstly, I have three kids. I am the breadwinner. I have multiple things to keep spinning. So I have to really take a step back from making all of the content myself. I just can't keep doing all the things. But as actually a writer at heart, and I have written for some published books, I love words. I love making things. So my hope is that I can get my new online business manager to support me in creating the content for the live raft, taking my body of work that I've already created since 2017 when I started making it, and you know running that from a much more cohesive place than it is currently. And then on my own account with the Alice Rose, mentorship and coaching for women, that side I would like to keep, generating my own content and leads for. And then I really need to think about ads because my coach has been on at me for about a year and a half to get my ads sorted. And it's just, it's a thing that I need to do, and that so far I haven't done.
I mean, to be honest, this is what it's probably going to take the business to the next level, isn't it? Right?
It really is, and it's on the plan. So it's the clinic and corporate outreach and ads are my two kind of focuses for all of that because it's impossible to keep doing. I can't do it all.
Yeah. No, I think that you are one of those people who've been successful in terms of creating your own community and really building the following that you have on social media, which is amazing. But I mean, to be honest, even if you had like several million people following you, that organic reach is gonna eventually go down. So it's not gonna be like a never-ending beautiful story. There is still some new avenues and paths that you need to eventually explore. So I like the thought process here because there's also the obligation that I'm pretty sure you feel in terms of the market and all those people that need you, right?
Yeah.
So in order for you to grow as a company is always going to come back to the systems that you're putting in place and making sure that you're building the right fundamentals that allow you to grow in the first place, but also making sure it doesn't come crashing down, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's just battling several things at the same time. And also a mom of three? I didn't know that. That's a full-time job in itself.
Yes, yeah, and they're 3, 5, and 9. So I'm still kind of in the young kids zone over here. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
wow.
a
Yeah.
chaotic season for me.
Impressive. Impressive. Good for you. You're a hustler. I love that. Now, Alice, when you really think about like putting some work into the ads, obviously building a better system that allow you to have people coming into your pipeline, good qualified prospects for you that you can basically close, sign the contracts, impact their lives, there's going to be a ton of work, right? So I'm also curious, what is your philosophy on what's going to happen with your teams? Are you going to build up something internal for marketing, sales, possibly other departments, or what is that idea that you have?
Yeah, so that will be something that we need to consider for the new year, because I do have a collaboration that I'm going to be working with in the new year, and I'm quite excited about that. She's got skills that are not the same as mine, and comes from a corporate background, which I do not. And I think that collaborative efforts will really support the business in in going further. Um, and at the moment, yeah, the rest of that plan is yet to to be
Yet to unfold.
yeah.
I got you. Yeah, I mean there is a time for everything, but it's definitely going to be when it comes to delegation, I feel like the only thing that we should be focusing, at least in the beginning, is really the alignment, right? There is a lot of people who end up looking for who is the most qualified, who is like 15, 20 years of experience, but hey, I mean, we're talking about building a team. So if
Mm.
you don't really click with that person on a level of personality and mindset, it's not going to work no matter what kind of experience there is.
Oh, 100%. And I've actually, recently I've worked with an amazing woman for the last 5 years, and we've now come to the realization that she needs to focus on other things. But the reason it's worked so well with us is because of that, because we are such, it just works in alignment. And this, hopefully, new person that I'm going to work with is actually an ex-client, so I've supported her through
Mm.
the journey. But she is, a really high achiever and brilliant. But we very much in alignment in our worldviews and our perspectives and what we want. She also understands, what I've built, from a personal perspective as well. So it feels good, it feels right. And that's very something I'm very big on, is my energetics behind the business have got to be, you know, they've got to be really, really sound.
Agreed. 100% agreed. Beautiful. Now, Alice, let's talk about the future of the company. You already gave us a little sneak peek in terms of what is coming, what's going to happen next, but I want to dive deeper into this. And specifically, if you think about, let's say, the next 6 to 12 months, so maybe the whole next year, what would you say are the biggest goals, targets, revenue, milestones, whatever comes to your mind?
I want to see the membership really expanding into new areas. I would love to be uh, making coaching something which is thought about in all areas, because it's such an impactful support. And so often, particularly through a fertility journey, people think of support, they think of counselling, and then they think of one counsellor, and that has always been the standard sort of pathway. If you end up in a fertility treatment clinic, if you are offered any support, that's it really. And there are amazing people out there with, there are fantastic support groups and various other people raising awareness and doing this thing, but there's no other real kind of standardized coaching framework that is available, that is online, that is accessible, but it's not just an AI app. And I think that blend of human connection, community, coach led support, and married up with the convenience of it being on an app, means that it's just a new pathway that should be really in all clinics, and for corporates as well, because there is such a huge amount of data to show the impact of going through this um, on people, and not just women, it needs to be men as well, through their working environment. So for me, the goal is pretty ambitious. Like I see it as a global offering that should be everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't see a reason why it shouldn't. Now that I've showed the first clinic that have done it, it was so fantastically aligned, the whole partnership, the way it worked out. It's not difficult for clinics to offer this, and they should be offering it.
Yeah, like you said yourself, there's a ton of ambition. But for some reason, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you're going to make it happen. So good for you.
Oh,
Now,
thanks.
Alice, we're gonna finish on even a bit more positivity. What I like to do at the end of the episode is basically ask the guests for an advice that they would give themselves if they could maybe travel back in time and speak to their younger selves. So, what would that be for you?
Hmm. I think I would probably travel back in time to about 4 years ago when I had my third baby. And I would probably say, in terms of the business, um, like, don't mess about. Take those, I spent a long time questioning things, going round and round in circles. And I would say it's two separate audiences. Don't try and do both in the same place. Separate it out and just stick with that decision. And I probably would have saved myself about 3 years of indecision and vague positioning and messaging and and all of that. That's probably what I would say. But I'd also say just probably well done. You're doing really well. It's like a lot. And I think, a lot of my clients are really beating themselves up for, not achieving what they wanted to achieve while they're also going through fertility or even divorce. Actually, one of my clients,
Hmm.
or, you know, um, parenting and everything, really, giving themselves a hard time for not being where they want to be, where actually, our power lies in self-compassion and vulnerability. And if we're allowing that to come through and not talking to ourselves in that way, we're going to get more quickly we're going to get where we want to get to more quickly. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would come in with the self-compassion too.
Yeah, you would have a lot to say
Yeah.
to the younger you.
I
No,
really do.
beautiful. Alex, this has been a great conversation. So I really want to say thank you for taking the time today, sharing the story with me and the entire audience. I really appreciate your time. So thank you again.
Thanks so much.
Now, I appreciate you. To our listeners, if today's conversation inspired you as well, make sure to subscribe to Founders Future on your favorite platform. And also, if you're a business owner, more specifically a consultant or a coach, or you have an agency and you're trying to scale the business and really enhance both your sales and marketing efforts, also visit closers.io, get in touch with our team, and discover how exactly we scaled our company from 0 to over 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on crushing it, and I'll see you on the next one.